3, 2, 1. Hello, Bulldog fans and all college football fans. Guess where we are? Well, you have to see it because even here you probably can't smell it on camera, but it's the wonderful sights, scenes, smells, and sounds around Tiger Stadium, one of the great venues of college sports, period, one of the great places to visit. Hasn't been a great place for Mississippi State over the years. I've been here for all three of State's most recent victories, and I don't want to tell you how long ago the third of that one was. But the Bulldogs have done it before. Can they do it again tonight, Steve?
David, they can do it tonight, but I think they're going to have a little help from LSU, and the Bulldogs cannot shoot themselves in the foot. And that's kind of been the story when State has come to Baton Rouge. If you remember in 2016, State barely got off the bus where they were down 2 scores. Leonard Fournette had a big ball game. Brandon Bryant, kind of the infamous stiff arm from Fournette there. It was an angry LSU team that came in, and State was a team kind of searching for its identity, and they paid for it. This is a better Mississippi State team. I don't know that it's a better LSU team despite the ranking. I think this is an LSU team that can be had, but Mississippi State's got to play perhaps their best game of the season.
Let's look at the matchup, State's defense against LSU's offense. Joe Burrow's been a very solid quarterback, overachieved in some regards. He's just a smart guy, but you'd expect that of a senior, a veteran from other places he's gone in. He doesn't make mistakes. He has some tall, physical receivers to throw to, but maybe they aren't as overpowering in the ground game as they have been the last couple of years. Still very good, but not that you're just afraid of the guys like Fournette and Geese and others.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. LSU has kind of pumped out NFL backs on the regular. I don't know they have one this year. Nicholas Brissett has waited his time behind Darius Geist and signed on with Leonard Fournette, was kind of a rising name here. And so he is a good SEC back. I don't know that he is a great SEC back. I mean, he had a good game against Ole Miss, and he's made some good gains for them. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire has done a good job for them, a guy that Mississippi State fans should be familiar with. State actually got him in on an official visit and nearly flipped him late in the process as LSU was kind of fishing for some other options. Didn't work out. He stayed at home. 2 Baton Rouge products that have grown up in the shadows of the goalpost of Tiger Stadium. Always wanted to play LSU. So that's going to be a big thing tonight is can State slow down that LSU ground game and kind of force them into throwing the football some.
But when they force them into throwing, that's been State's breakdown on deep ball because the cornerbacks are going to be matched up with some very physical receivers. So this is the key to me. You know you're not going to cover them all the time, maybe not even half the time. You've got to get pressure. Do the Bulldogs gamble and try to pick some blitzes or some extra man rushes on odd downs that maybe LSU doesn't expect?
I think you have to, Dave. I think you have to mix it up. And, that's the thing about Bob Shoop. I mean, he surprises us every week. We think we've got an idea what he's going to do. He'll change it up. And Jaquarius Landreau's probably going to start today at nickel. Brian Cole could give it a go. I think he's kind of an X factor in this ball game because Landreau's is a guy you can bring on some exotic packages as blitzes, or you can drop him back in coverage. And he is one of the fastest Bulldogs on the team, him or Chris Rayford. So should one of those Bulldog defensive backs step in front of an LSU pass, they have the athleticism and the ability to take it back the other way. And to win this ball game, you may need a defensive touchdown or a special team score.
As far as offense, you saw in the last home game, Mississippi State just took it to Auburn physically with an empty backfield, motioning a running back in. Nick Fitzgerald ran for 195 yards. Kylan Hill, a big game. Aris Williamson's a workmanlike job. LSU now has seen that. The State had not showed it before, but the Tigers had a chance to scout it. Does State use that same thing, or do they try in a few extra tweaks? Because I know we talked to Coach Luke Getsy, and he said, yes, there are more they have not used yet.
Absolutely. Well, David, even on the last touchdown with Fitzgerald, they had a wrinkle, kind of a wrinkle of the wrinkle. They've been motioning a guy into the backfield, then they motion a guy back, and then bring Dedrick Thomas in on a jet sweep action, and then Nick cuts underneath. So, yeah, there's a lot more they can do out of that. Yeah, I expect State to have a few extra wrinkles, but I also expect State to do what they do. That's to come out and try to establish the running game and then stop the run. If State can succeed in those two jobs, I think they've got a good chance to win the ball game.
If State wants to hit a home run today, how do they do it? And probably maybe not a vertical passing game, but say what they did as early as the first game of the season. Flip it to one of the running backs and get a one-on-one matchup and hope for the best.
That's a possibility, David, but I think you have to make some plays and play action. I think you've got to establish the ground game and maybe get those LSU safeties who are very good, especially Grant Delpit, one of the best players in this league. You get them gambling a little bit and you can make them pay. Now, I don't know that State has the pass protection to just sit back and do a 5- and 7-step drop and throw the ball 50 yards down the field. But could you hit Stephen Guidry on an inside slant? Could you hit Osiris Mitchell on a fade? Possibly. But these are some very good LSU corners, so ball placement is of utmost importance.
Last subject for this. I know State and LSU are recruiting several of the similar players today. Are there any State targets that you think will be at this game tonight watching the Tigers and also watching State?
Well, there could be. Derek Hall is one. Derek Hall, the 4-star linebacker out of Gulfport, Mississippi State's been one of his favorites throughout the process. This will be the 3rd consecutive Mississippi State game he's attended. came to see Mississippi State play Florida, was there to see Mississippi State play Auburn, had the option to go see Auburn and Ole Miss play today, which I think is significant, elected to come here to see LSU Mississippi State play. Just kind of reading the tea leaves, Bulldog fans probably have a little room for optimism there.
So, kickoff in about 2 hours. Mississippi State here at LSU. Number 22 against number 5, a top 25 matchup for 6 o'clock kickoff from Tiger Stadium. And Steve and I will be talking after the game, win or lose. We'll go over the highs, the lows, and looking forward to a 2-game homestand as the Bulldogs return. For Steve Robertson, this is David Murray from Tiger Stadium on the Baton Rouge campus.